He's out of line, but he's right.
Ooh, I could tell you, being an EMT is a gift and a curse. Um, Walking my dog, and by chance, I just happened to be on one of the main streets in Jersey City, and I encountered a heroin overdose. A man, Hispanic man, late 50s, early 60s. Don't know who he is, don't care. And I don't mean like I don't care about him, meaning like I don't care about the identity. Sometimes you just want to make sure people are okay. It comes with the territory, unless you one of those bitter EMTs. Anyway, heroin overdose. I don't carry Narcan with me because my job doesn't just give it out to people. The leave behind kit system, or the getting it from Walgreens at a decent price, that's unfortunately going to go away. So maybe I need to stock up on it, not because of personal use, but because of the environment I live in. Here in the South District of Jersey City, where all the drug addicts are pushed up here like the last bit of toothpaste at the end of the tube, like you just push it all into just the top. And even though we're southbound, we're top altitude wise, we're the top of the city here in the South District. So heroin overdose, saw the telltale signs. And if you don't know the telltale signs as somebody who's not in the medical field, you're going to hear snoring respirations, like an apneic. I think that's the technical name for it. I know I'm the EMT, but there's so many terminologies, I lose track of it. So, apneic with the sometimes even more distance between the pause you heard in between. Not just the if you feel a radial pulses, meaning the carotid on the side of the jugular, you will feel a pulse. It would be rapid, which we call tachycardia. You will feel that rapid pulse. Check the wrist. Try to give them stimuli like, hey, sir, wake up, sir, ma'am, and they don't respond to nothing. You hear the apnea, which is snoring respirations, unresponsive to any form of touch, sound, or any touch, sound, or anything. They're just not responsive to it. Rapid pulse, which if you feel on the if you feel near the right there, touch on the side of the jugular, and you will feel a pulse. Or you check the wrist and put your two fingers, your pointer finger and your middle finger, on the wrist, right in the area under the thumb, and you'll feel that it's a rapid rate. Pinpoint pupils, meaning the pupils in your eye, the dark color in the middle of your eye. If it's constricted to the point where it's nearly, it's very thin, like it's very just beady, they call it pinpoint for a reason. Pinpoint pupils, you shine light in it and it don't respond, another telltale sign. And unfortunately, I didn't have Narcan with me because, like I said, I don't carry it with me. And I had no choice but to call 911. It's what I was supposed to do. And I put my dog on a leash. I mean, he was on the leash, but I put the leash on a gate and just tended to the guy, just try to make sure he didn't stop breathing, because without anything, no oxygen source, no bag ventilation mask to breathe for him, none of that, I wasn't able to do nothing but make sure he didn't stop breathing. And even though I told the dispatchers my credentials, they talked to me like I was a damn child. Then I had to realize, one of them said to me on the phone, well, you understand, I have to tell you this stuff anyway. I was like, oh, I get it, because you're being recorded for quality assurance, so you have to still walk me through it as if I didn't let you know what it was. So I just be like, okay, all's forgiven. That man is alive because fortunately my boss came because there was no available units, and then my supervisor came. And my boss is the tour chief and supervisors. They both came. And me and my boss, who's my tour chief, we was able to get the guy breathing again. And then the supervisor came with a full ambulance, because my tour chief only arrived in the Interceptor, which is the SUV. So they parked the Interceptor, both got in the ambulance, got that patient to the hospital, but we got him conscious before that. And he was a combination of drunk and overdosed on opiates, which can be a dangerous combination. Especially if you fall out intoxicated and you hit your head and you in the middle of an overdose, that could be fatal. Very fatal. I said very fatal. No, there's no such thing as very fatal. Fatal is fatal. So, but you get what I'm trying to say, right? So fortunately, he's alive. They got him to the hospital, but this isn't my first instance of something like this happening. A couple years ago, like a week before my birthday, someone got shot in front of my house, the bullet broke his right femur, his thigh bone, and went through the other leg too, went through the left leg. So it broke his right femur, went through the other one. Right there, like, as soon as I heard boom, boom, my dog, Petey, looked at me like, he gave that look like, do something. I kid you not, I'm not making this up. I'm not being hyperbolic. That dog looked at me like he gave me that look you don't you hear that? Like, the way he moved his head, I'm like, oh dear. So what I did, took my sweet time, because I don't go running towards gunfire. If a person fired 2 shots and I heard screaming, that means more than likely that person left the scene. So I took a little bit of time, walked around. I went out there, like, hey, what's going on? They were like, oh, he been shot. So I was like, hold on a moment, I'm gonna go. I was like, where he's been shot at? They were like, in his legs. I was like, okay, let me go around to my vehicle. Went around the corner, got my jump bag, happened to see 2 police officers. And I was like, hey, it's over around there, around the corner, there on my block, right there around the corner. By the time I got my jump bag from my truck, the police street team was there also. And I had to make a tourniquet, something to tie high and tight on his thigh to prevent any bleeding, just in case it nicked or went through his femoral artery, which is a serious, massive blood-carrying artery that runs through your thigh. If that thing gets torn, you can bleed to death. So people are like, how can you die for getting shot in the leg? I'm like, because if that artery gets compromised, that can be fatal. So preventive wise, I was able to just make a tourniquet and tie high and tight, meaning near the groin area. You tie it as tight as you can to try to slow down the blood flow or cut it off. You might lose a little sensation in that leg, but at least that leg will still be there and they will not bleed to death. Not on my watch, at least. So when EMS showed up, my coworker showed up. When we went to lift him, I lift him by the ankles and my partner lift him under the arms to get him onto the stretcher, and that leg wobble. And I was like, yeah, I knew the femur was broke. That's how I knew the femur was broke, people. Not because I have intuition and I got x-ray vision. That leg wobbled and I was like, yeah, it's broken. That bullet went right. It shattered his thigh bone. High. So that happened in front of my house. And then when I first started working for 911 in Jersey City, no matter where I went, danger followed me. or I was in the proximity of it. Meaning not like it was coming for me. Something happened. And this year is almost the 3-year anniversary of a woman I tried to save in New York City on the Henry Hudson Highway, scooter accident. She left behind twin sons, y'all, and a loving husband who actually, because I think he found me responding to people in the comment section about the crash, and they were being very insensitive. Well, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. How's she riding scooter on the highway? She don't know how to drive. I was like, look, she didn't have a helmet. I was like, first off, and one of my old classmates said, I was like, first off, you weren't there. That woman's blood is on my shirt, dude. I tried to save her life. You don't know what you're talking about. She had a helmet on, but what's the point of that? Accidents happen. Have some compassion. And that dude, we still connected on Facebook, but he do not speak to me because I don't put up with his shit. I'm not your wife, homie. She love you. She put up with you being the grumpy bastard you are, but I don't play that. So anyway, her husband, the decedent that I tried to save in New York City on the Henry Hudson, her husband just by chance was in the comment section because I was shutting people down. I was talking shit on her because I was there. I watched that woman die in front of me. Well, they pronounced at the hospital, but the internal bleeding I saw building up in her stomach, it was inevitable. And her husband confirmed my worst fears, that it was internal bleeding. So a doctor got out his vehicle because it backed up traffic, of course. Doctor got out of his vehicle and was helping me do CPR in the middle of the Henry Hudson Highway going southbound. A nurse happened to even get out too. She was in a nice green dress, just form fit. And I'm like, you know her? She's like, no, I just want to help. So unfortunately, it was 2 victims on the scene, but the other one had non-fatal injuries. What happened is that the woman ejected off of her vehicle and crashed into a motorcycle driver, and it was at such a high speed, it broke her spine and cut into her heart. And I know it's very morbid, that the stuff I'm talking about, but I just want you guys to know, you think I'm just somebody who just collect Transformers, who have opinions on stuff. No, I have a real career and I see things. So me doing YouTube sometimes, or the lack of thereof, is because I live this for a career. It's not easy, people. It's not. Mentally, it's not easy. The pay could be better. It's gotten better than what it used to be. It can be better. It could be what it should be. But that's another can of worms that I don't want to open for you guys. But in all, just to say this at the end, EMS work do not stop when you clock out and go home. It's a gift and a curse. You have been gifted with abilities that you've learned for your career. And the thing is, emergencies and tragedies and mass casualty incidents can happen at any time. And my body and my conscience will not let me just let it happen. If I can do something, I will. Maybe I have the right mindset. You know, people tell me, oh, I don't like you. I don't like him. He tried to kiss everybody. I know. I try to help people. The fuck out of here. You see, it was an old black woman that said that about me when I used to work somewhere. I was like, a volunteer in my ER that worked and did other stuff. When in the operating room, when I used to be a housekeeper, I heard her talk shit about me, and I heard her, but she thought I left completely. And then when I was like, I heard what you said about me. Well, yeah, I'm just saying. I'm like, why? And why I tell you this story out of random? Because it's heifers and assholes like that I will help, despite them being the way they were when they were alert and conscious. That right there goes out the window. You got to be ready to help some of the people that you cannot stand. Disgusting, awful people. It's part of the career. You know, you see a lot of dub S online saying, you know, I wouldn't get no surgery from a black doctor because they DEI. I'm like, okay, you want this DEI surgery or you want a DIE? The fuck out of here. Oh God. All right, let me shut up. Anyway, it's your boy Fury. I'm here. Woosah, and I'm out. Peace.